Please introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Annie Vaid. I am from Jammu. Sir, I have done my schooling from Jammu itself. Then I did BA Honours History from Lady Shri Ram College, University of Delhi. I then did Masters in History from Miranda House, University of Delhi. Apart from that, sir, I was a part of Students' Union in my hostel, and I've also interned with some NGOs in Delhi. Apart from academics, I've had the working experience as a postgraduate teacher of history in GD Goenka Public School, Jammu. Besides this, I am interested in Vipassana. I am a regular practitioner of Vipassana meditation, and I'm sometimes also interested in reading. This is my second interview and my second attempt as well.
How many marks did you get in the last interview?
So 175.
From Miranda House. Why is it named so?
So Miranda, the founder was Maurice Squire, and he he had a daughter named Miranda. But the reason that he used to give was that he was inspired by a character in William Shakespeare's novel The Tempest, Miranda. So he felt that every woman should be like Miranda, ferocious and fierce like her.
Miranda House is considered as one of the, it's ranked first among the top colleges of the country.
Yes.
In the NIRF ranking. What is the education system like there?
In Miranda?
Yes.
Sir, it is one of the premier institutes, and I think what really adds on to its character is the kind of academic training one gets, the kind of peer group one gets there. Um, Amongst some empowering women, we tend to develop our character in such a way that it's just very empowering there to be there and also get uh, such a kind of self exploratory atmosphere is there that automatically one's personality gets nourished.
What have you learned from in your time that you spent there?
Sir, it has been a journey of self exploration. The Annie that went to Delhi and the Annie that came out of it. So there is a lot of difference in terms of confidence, in terms of how well I know myself, in terms of my interests, uh, what I what purpose I am looking forward to. So all these things I believe. So a pure self exploration, self discovery, I would say.
What is the purpose of life for you?
So I believe that life should be fulfilling and it should definitely have some experience, enriching experiences. It should be peaceful in the sense that there should be harmony between what we are inside and what we seek outside. So
If that is the ultimate purpose of life, do you think that our national goals or the national objectives coincide with that?
yes, sir, they do because national objectives, the kind of country we want to build, they are in harmony with our civilizational ethos from the ancient times. So we want right now we are talking about Vasudev Kutumbakam. So entire world is one family. So this is the very eternity of our civilizational ethos that we are imparting, and we want to continue. We want to perpetuate that. So I believe that yes.
Tell me about this NIRF ranking. What do you know about it?
So National Institute ranking framework. It's under Education Ministry, and it ranks the higher educational institutes on the basis. It has a criteria like um student faculty ratio, then how much research is done, infrastructure, patents also for the science institutes. It has a self. What do you say? It has a self reporting criteria wherein there is a portal and institutes have to fill in a survey where they self report about the different things ratio. It's basically a quantitative framework, I would say. There's another NAC which is qualitative, and in NIRF the team does not come to the college. It is all it is the survey is based on the portal and the information that college fills in that portal.
Can you shed some light on India's patent regime?
Sir, India's patent regime, it is based on it is compliant with the TRIPS agreement of World Intellectual Property Organization. There's a law, Indian Patents Act 19. I don't remember that year, but uh, yeah, I think.
Does India allow secondary patents?
Sir, I don't think I must have read it, but I don't remember.
Are you aware of compulsory licensing?
So compulsory licensing, I believe, as to the best of my knowledge, I think it is a clause in our patent policy which uh, under which the companies, especially the pharmaceutical companies, are obliged to follow the government policy of giving uh, shedding away their patent requirements and opening up a bit.
Are you sure?
I might have to read on that, sir.
Can you name some notable alumni from your college?
Sir Aung San Suu Kyi, then Geeta Gopinath, Geeta Mittal also. In fact, the present DC of Jammu, Avni Lavasa, is also the alumna from LSR. Geetanjali Shri, who recently got the International Booker Prize for Ret Samadhi, Tomb of the Sand.
Annie, what is the meaning of your name?
Sir, it means someone who's kind-hearted. It's a Hebrew language name.
What is your optional, Annie?
So history.
Why did you choose history as an option?
So because it has been my academic subject from the last 5-6 years, so I have interest also in that. That is why.
What fascinates you about history?
Sir, I believe history, if we, in a common parlance, we consider history as the study of past, but I think history is much more about present as it is about past. I think it oscillates between present and past because whatever is written and whatever the historians write, they are somewhat influenced by their current situation, what they want to write, what they don't want to write, what they want to erase, or what they want to shed extra light on. So I think the determination is the present to write about past. So I think this is something which fascinates me about history.
Can we rewrite history?
Sir, rewriting history is of course we can add to history because uh, history is something which will add on. So we can add to history. We can resurface certain characters, certain narratives, and certain individuals which were basically not given due recognition, or their story might have been erased or silenced for some reason or the other. But giving them their due recognition is definitely good. But when we say rewriting history, rewriting in itself, an act which is more political than historical, I would say we can add and we can contribute, but rewriting is not something a person sitting in 2023 can have for a story which was, let's say, 1,000 years back. So we don't have the prerogative for that. We can only resurface certain facts and figures. But rewriting, I believe, it's something which is not we should not do ethically as well, because I mean it has political connotations. Just imagine someday we Germans, apologetic Germans, want to obliterate the history of Hitler. What will happen not only to the memory of Europe but also to the memory of whole world? So,
What do you think the recent step taken by the NCRT was all about?
sir, NCRT recently rationalized the textbooks, and it rationalized all the textbooks, the syllabus under the uh, policy of rationalization. But I believe rationalization also has its cons, because uh, when we rationalize something, the texts are being rationalized, we are actually divesting students of a form of knowledge which were hitherto available to the previous students, but not to these students. For example, from science, periodic table lesson has been obliterated. Uh, of course, they will read about it in next coming classes, but they will definitely not have that base. In histories, for example, rationalization has happened. There are two chapters, because I am also a teacher, so there are two chapters dedicated to Mughals, and one has been obliterated. One is there. So I believe that it will not give them holistic knowledge. Holistic knowledge is very important.
So you think the step was not right?
It could have been implemented much better, in a much better way, by maybe adding something, or by maybe adding something, some other activities, maybe not in the text, by adding some other activities in the curriculum. Maybe in that way it could have been implemented better.
Tell me the three main social problems that India has inherited from its past.
First is the kind of gender discrimination, which is at times sanctioned by the religious texts. Second is the caste system. And thirdly, sir, I believe the colonial hangover of poverty. So it's a social problem apart from being a class or a economic issue as well.
About gender discrimination, are you aware of the glass ceilings?
Class ceilings. Uh, no, sir.
Tell me, given a chance, how would you remove gender discrimination in your area of work?
Sir, it is first of all very important to oversee the uh, successful implementation of the existing laws that are there. Then sensitizing people, starting from the very basis, starting from children, starting from empowering the women, giving them giving them public spaces, public visibility. Uh, the more they are in public spaces, the better they are empowered. So visibility in public spaces, I think, is very important for women, and also empowering the infrastructure, making them making roads, making infrastructure accessible to women, and also investing in the education, um, job opportunities. I think these are some very fundamental things that one should do.
Tell me the already running schemes in that regard.
Sir, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Then there are schemes like there are schemes, medical schemes also, which empower women. Like I can't remember the name of the schemes. So I'll have to work on that.
Don't you think phrases like बेटी बचाओ कुछ ऐसा लगता है जैसे बेटी को बचाना जरूरी है और बेटी खतरे में है, it would have a negative impact on the psyche of a girl child?
Could be, sir. I would not deny that, but I think these kind of names, they are kept in keeping in mind the kind of audience. So, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is a scheme which primarily focuses on female feticide, infanticide along with female education. So, these are the things that are prevalent more in the rural areas. So, I believe any catchy slogan or anything which relates to them, I think that would work. So it is not like a hard and fast rule that only a politically correct name should be used. But I think it's more to understand the psyche of the audience that is going to receive it.
Can you give me the difference between kingdom and empire?
Okay. So kingdom. First of all, if we look at the geographical or territorial expanse, kingdom is smaller than the empire, and when we say kingdom, kingdom involves. So I'll first talk about empire. Empire is it is when the administrative apparatus, when the administrative apparatus of the empire is well entrenched and it expands to multiple arenas. It even expands the current political boundary. So we can say that uh, Ashoka built an empire. But we usually say the Magadhan kingdom. When it began as a kingdom. But later on, it became an empire. So also there is a political connotation with empire. Something which is empire is considered to be more uh, centralized. It's considered to be more what do you say, a fact of glory. And kingdoms has been altogether, they have been everywhere, but something which is empire is considered to be a matter of glory. For example, the discovery of Mauryan empire during the time of uh, during the time history was being constituted during the colonial time. So discovery of Mauryan empire or the glory of Roman empire, so it has some kind of a glory attached to it that is given to it with the uh, psyche from the present times.
Which personality from the Indian national movement do you like most?
Um, Sir, I like Mahatma Gandhi. I like many actually. They added their own flavors to the national movement. I like Subhash Chandra Bose as well. Um, Raja Ram Mohan Roy as well. Um, Sir, I like Lord Governor General Lord Ripon as well, because he introduced a lot of and William Bentinck as well. So I think Indian national history is replete with people who added or contributed to it in their own ways. So it's a very difficult to choose.
Give me three contributions of Lord Ripon.
Sir, he first of all repealed the acts, Arms Act and vernacular. He gave more freedom to press. He also contributed a lot in the field of agriculture, I believe. Um, yeah, so things that were done by Lord Lytton, his predecessor, he somehow tend to undid those things. So
It was during his time that we came up with the Negotiable Instruments Act. Are you aware of that?
yes, sir. Negotiable Instruments Act. Uh, yes, sir. I know it, but I don't think I recall it very well in detail.
What would you consider the biggest achievement of Mahatma Gandhi?
Sir, I think the fact that he was able to uh, bring an umbrella movement, a kind of mass movement ideology, which was hitherto not present in India. It was evolving, but I think it Mahatma Gandhi gave it a Mahatma Gandhi acted as a catalyst to that. So there were localized movements, like Swadeshi movement was the first mass movement, but Swadeshi movement was quite localized. There were dominant factions in Bengal, then in Bombay Presidency as well, but in Punjab as well. But Mahatma Gandhi, what he did was he gave like an umbrella, like an overarching character to the Indian national movement.
Let's suppose along with you, Mahatma Gandhi also comes for the JKPSC interview. Do you think he'll get selected?
JKPSC interview.
Yeah.
Uh, I think, sir, he will get selected.
Why do you think so?
So, because interview is a test of one's personality, and it interview checks uh, one's knowledge, general knowledge. Interview checks one's temperament. Interview checks the overall personality in general. I think Gandhiji he completely subscribed to what JKPSC would require. A person uh, who's peaceful, who's also a person who does not give up, a person who constantly works. So I think there's no there's no reason why Gandhi should not be selected for JKPSC.
Do you think Gandhiji was an idealist?
Um, Idealist, yes, sir, in certain aspects, like his non-violence paradigm. Because if we look at the current scenario, it is very difficult to be completely non-violent the way Gandhiji described it. Um, and by the end of his career, like around 1940s, he also tended to give like a tacit approval to just like in Quit India, he gave this kind of a tacit approval to if nothing works out, if you want to take up arms to defend your country, just do that. So he also evolved with time. We can't like generalize him. We can't just give him a tag that he was a non-violent person. So he also evolved with the way his personality evolved over the time, right from 1920s now non-cooperation to 1940s. We see a evolution of Gandhi himself. So again, but idealism, answering your question, yes, non-violence as such in present times, it is an ideal. It is a utopian concept. We must keep we must keep this as a goal, but it practically realist in the realist paradigm, it is not possible to be completely non-violent.
Okay, tell me, can you compare any three current political leaders with a character from history?
Okay, sir, Xi Jinping with Genghis Khan, Napoleon with Putin, Vladimir Putin, and I think I don't know. I'm not getting it right now.
Okay, give me three Indian political leaders from a character from Indian history.
Okay, sir, Mamta Banerjee with Murshid Quli Khan and Alivardi Khan of Bengal, primarily because assertion of the regional autonomy by Murshid Quli Khan and maintaining a distance with the center. Um, Narendra Modi ji with I would say Ashoka, because Narendra Modi has this idea of uniting and keeping the diverse empire like Ashoka did, diversity intact by Dhamma. So Narendra Modi also, because he also believes in uniting and then mm, sir, I'm not getting such this one.
As you said that our prime minister wants to keep the diversity intact. How would his stance on diversity, can you settle with his stance on the Uniform Civil Code?
Sir, I believe Uniform Civil Code. mm so, Uniform Civil Code, when we look at its practicality or pragmatism, I think there are many problems with what is the current social scenario right now. Like there are caste issues, there are the gender justice is not being imparted in many of uh, the religious codes of different religions. So I believe bringing some kind of minimalistic uniformity is the need of the hour. But I think at the same point of time, we need we need to have we don't need to have a knee jerk position here. We need to have a tailored piecemeal approach when we look at UCC. um, Regular consultation with stakeholders, which Prime Minister also the kind of UCC discussions that happen over Parliament. It's not that it is going to be one legislation which will completely change, but I think it's still in the work, and it's not, and he is also assured that it will not divest the religions of their peculiarity, or it will not divest them of their religiosity. So I don't think UCC, if if catered, or if uh, brought in with a lot of deliberations with all the stakeholders, I don't think it is a problem as such. But definitely there must be uh, everybody must be taken into the discussion, every religious group. So deliberation is the must thing in UCC.
So, what according to you would be the impact of UCC on Indian society?
So it will, first of all, it looking at from the standpoint of administration, I think social legislations which are which are social legislations as UCC will bring a sense of administrative convenience. Then it will establish national integrity and unity. They are also touted as instruments which will bring gender justice, and also eliminate many of the irrational and discriminatory practices within the religions. Yeah.
I can see that you've also been in NSS. What is NSS?
The NSS is National Social Service. It's a community-led initiative, it's a part of Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and it's in this, the students from class 11, 12, or the college students, they are given chance to associate with NGOs for some. There is a duration of certain hours that you have to give to NSS, and that's a compulsory practice in colleges. So
So,
it
how
just
much time have you given in NSS?
120 hours.
Okay. And what have you learned from it?
So I've learned that it is very important to be compassionate. We, in our normal lives, we don't realize the um problems that people. Actually, my NGO was Swandrishti Swavalamban, and it caters to the needs of visually impaired students. So every volunteer is, for the next 2 years in the college, is assigned a person from the college itself who is visually impaired, and as a volunteer, have to do certain tasks which they are not really able to. So I have to be their assistant for certain desired hours. So I realized that what kind of difficulties they go through, and it is very important to be compassionate. I think this is this is the biggest learning that I had.
What is the motto of NSS?
Mm, Sir, it's not me but you. So it is something which is beyond your own self, something which is beyond you, something which involves others.
Tell me about your work in the NGO.
So in Delhi, I was involved with Prabha NGO, and through Prabha, I was sent to Manthan. It's an NGO in Ajmer. There's a village Kotadi. Manthan NGO. It usually works. It was a sister organization of Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan, which worked during RTI. Uh, um, so Manthan, because it is situated in an area which is very dry, and there are no water sources. The only lake that's nearby is Sambhar Lake, which is saline water lake. So they don't have water resources. So major calm is their watershed management, but they also work in the fields of education and making the people of Kotari village aware of the various schemes of the government and all that. So I worked in the making of a curriculum. I was there for 1 month, so I worked in the making of a curriculum of women who would be attending an evening school. So, and also that we as a team used to hold some camps there, uh, so that we would bring forms and they would fill up the forms so that those forms could be could give them make could make them the beneficiaries of some of the Rajasthan government schemes. It was in 2016, sir, that I did.
Your hobby is doing meditation.
Yes, sir.
How has meditation helped you over time?
So, I think it makes you calm and it makes you very conscious of your present moment. And this type of meditation that I follow is it works on knowing the bodily sensations, and that too equanimously. So our body releases good and bad sensations. So we tend to arise certain emotions of dislike and like for these sensations. But what these what the meditation teaches you to remain equanimous, be neutral, whatever you're sensing. So it is a very micro way to understand what equanimity is, to be neutral in situations, whether you face triumphs or whether you face failures. So you just have to remain neutral. That's what the purpose of meditation is.
What is specific to the Vipassana meditation?
So this only Vipassana means, Pashana in Pali language means to look. Vipassana is to look in a vishesh way, to look in a special way. So to not only look outwardly but be inward and notice how the bodily sensations, which right now we're not feeling, but when we look inwards with a lot of practice, we're able to see the upsurge and the downfall of bodily sensations. So if they are so impermanent, what are we clinging on to? So that's what it teaches.
Tell me about Jammu. Why are Raika forests in news?
So I haven't read it.
Why is Article 370 being somehow linked with the basic structure of the Constitution?
Sir, the discussion around 317 Supreme Court is basically on two major questions. First is whether 370, after the dissolution of Constituent Assembly of Jammu in 1957, whether 370 can be amended after that, and if not, then is there not even a single way that 370 can be amended by parliamentary amendment of 368? So these are the primarily these two questions that are being dealt. But how it is being linked to basic structure is that if Article 368 also cannot amend the 370, then 370 is a special case. It does not fall into the purview of basic structure because in basic structure, Keshavananda Bharati case, Supreme Court said that Parliament can amend everything but not basic structure. So if 370 cannot be amended under 368, then can it be linked to the basic structure? So the discussion is around these lines.
Recently, just few days back, the former Chief Justice of India had some very unique approach on the basic structure thing in the Constitution. Have you heard about that in the Rajya Sabha debates?
Sir, I might have read it, but I am not getting it right now.
Okay, tell me why you want to join civil services.
Sir, this is something which I constantly ask myself because I am constantly at my scrutiny. But it was not until the end of my college that I decided that I would want to go into this kind of a career because, and the more I am into it, I realize that it is not me who's deciding to enter into civil services. Civil services will have to choose me. So that is why I have to be convinced whether I'm worthy enough for the job as well. So when I think of it from when I ask myself, only one answer comes to me, and that is that there was an incident in my life when which completely revolutionized my life, and that was when I got a scholarship for the current college, the college that was I was in. Had it been on my parents, I wouldn't be able to afford to go to that college. But it was the tiny scheme of Prime Minister's special scholarship scheme, which came into my life, and it completely changed me. I entered college as somebody, and I came out of it as somebody else. So I believe that it is the administration, it is the policies that people like these civil servants make. So their small little scheme changed my life. I have been at the receiving end of it. What if I am at the giving end? So I think that has inspired me as well, because it civil services has the potential to change a lot many lives, and I am genuinely interested in that particular aspect of civil services, because the way it has impacted my life, I'm sure if I am at the helm of affairs, I will definitely be able to make change in people's life.
Tell me what are the bring into the administration, but there has to be a non-technological reform.
Sir, I think uh, first of all, punctuality. If I'm at the office, I would want everybody to reach on time. Um, so, secondly, a bit dedication towards the work. That will be my area, because I myself I believe that I'm disciplined enough. So I want a discipline in the administration, and so a bit of sensitivity, compassion, and yeah.
All right, my last question to you will be what is your biggest weakness?
So, when I say things, when there is a thought process in my mind and I try to say it, and sometimes there are many words at my uh, in my gut, but I want to say things, so I tend to stutter at times, but I'm working on it. So I think it holds me back at a lot many times. There are so
All
many
right,
words in my mouth, so when I'm speaking something, they all come at once. So I am trying to bring clarity in that.
Annie, let's conclude the session. Your interview is over. You can relax a bit now.
Okay.
I have your feedback ready. Tell me about it. How was the interview?
So the interview is fine, but I need to work on some current affairs first of all, and sir, yeah, current affairs, basically knowledge part. थोड़ा वो वहाँ पर मुझे लग रहा है कि I'm not able to express much in detail. जैसे
Uh,
IPR आपका वो नहीं आता था.
मैं शुरू से शुरू करता हूँ so that I don't miss anything. There are just few things which I can give you as a feedback. Mostly, you have a lot of positives attached to your personality. Let me go through that first. You're a very confident woman. उसमें कोई शक नहीं है. आपका confidence आपकी performance में झलकता है. Your voice is very soft on ears, so you have that added advantage. Conversational skills आपकी बहुत अच्छी है. आप concrete answers देते हो. Like मैंने आपसे पूछा था 3 main social problems बताइए that India has inherited in the past from the past. तो you told me gender discrimination है, caste system है, colonial hangover. तो in a very structured format. ऐसे ही मैंने आपको बताया था impact. How would you settle this prime minister's diverse keeping the diversity intact and with his stance on UCC. तो वहां पर भी आपने यूनिफॉर्मिटी मिनिमलिस्टिक रखना है, जेंडर जस्टिस टेलर्ड अप्रोच. तो बहुत बहुत अच्छा है. आपके एक्सप्रेशंस काफी अच्छे हैं, कंक्रीट आंसर्स है, कैलकुलेटेड वर्ड्स आप इस्तेमाल करते हो. तो इन दैट वे ओपिनियन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन पे, सिचुएशनल क्वेश्चन पे यू विल नॉट हैव एनी इशू. यू हैव अ वेरी प्लेजेंट पर्सनालिटी. थोड़ा स्माइल भी करते हो बीच में, सो दैट मेक्स द एनवायरनमेंट लाइटर. वहां पर कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. पर द प्रॉब्लम विद दिस काइंड ऑफ एन इंटरव्यू इज दैट द एक्चुअल इंटरव्यू इज टू फैक्चुअल एंड यू नो दैट, एंड उसमें नोबडी कैन डू एनीथिंग. तो मैं आपको 50 फैक्ट भी पूछ लेता एंड वहां पर कुछ और ही फैक्ट्स आ जाते. तो ये है कि पर्सनालिटी वाइज मुझे तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं लगा. आपकी बहुत प्लेजेंट पर्सनालिटी है और आपका हर एक आंसर मुझे काफी अच्छा लगा, सिवाय एक जगह पर जहां पर मे बी यू स्किप दैट पार्ट. सो आई गो थ्रू द इंट्रोडक्शन फर्स्ट. तो आपने इंट्रोडक्शन में अपना नाम, जम्मू, स्कूल, DU, उसके बाद स्टूडेंट यूनियन, एनजीओ, फिर टीचर एंड फिर हॉबी. इट वाज अ वेरी स्ट्रक्चर्ड इंट्रोडक्शन, तो उसमें यू डोंट नीड टू चेंज एनीथिंग, इट्स परफेक्टली फाइन. देन हमने मिरांडा हाउस से शुरू किया. आई आस्क्ड यू अबाउट व्हाट हैव यू लर्न. तो कॉन्फिडेंस है, पर्पस, सेल्फ एक्सप्लोरेशन, वो भी बहुत अच्छे से आपने हैंडल किया. NIRF रैंकिंग, यू न्यू द स्टफ. देन यू ओनली मेंशन अबाउट पेटेंट्स. तो आई वाज लुकिंग फॉर सम कीवर्ड्स आपके आंसर से ही जिसको हम आगे बढ़ाए. तो यहाँ यही यहीं पर द आइडिया इज, इफ यू डोंट नो अबाउट दिस स्टफ, यू आर नॉट टू कॉन्फिडेंट, देन इट्स बेटर टू नॉट मेंशन इट, बिकॉज इंटरव्यू कहीं से भी लीड हो सकता है. तो वो वाला पार्ट, यू डोंट नीड टू स्टडी IPR regime, बिकॉज जरूरी नहीं है कि वहाँ इंटरव्यू जाए, बट ये है कि उस स्फेयर में जाना ही नहीं है जहाँ पर कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं. देन वी टॉक्ड अबाउट सम नोटेबल एलुमनाई, यू न्यू दैट. फिर हमने हिस्ट्री देखा, वाई हिस्ट्री. तो यू हैड अ वेरी गुड आंसर कि फैसिनेशन क्यों होता है आपका हिस्ट्री से. फिर इट आई शुड वी रीराइट द हिस्ट्री. तो यू हैड अ वेरी बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच देयर एज वेल. NCERT में भी आपने जो स्टांस लिया, इट वाज गुड. हालांकि वहां पर मैं चाहता था कि आपको थोड़ा बैलेंस्ड अप्रोच ले लेना था, जहां पर NCERT का जो रैशनलाइजेशन का कॉन्सेप्ट था, यू टुक इट इन अ स्लाइट नेगेटिव वे, जहां पर आपने बोला कि इट शुड नॉट हैव बीन डन दिस वे, बट
Uh,
ऑलरेडी देव डन इट.
बीइंग अ टीचर आई थिंक वो आ जाता है बिकॉज मैं उसको टीचर के पर्सपेक्टिव से आई थिंक आई हैड एनालाइज दैट इज वाई मुझे वो मैंने उस वे में ले लिया बट आई थिंक यूर राइट इन दैट बिकॉज आई नीड टू थिंक अबाउट इट फ्रॉम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू.
एडमिन एग्जैक्टली, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पर्सपेक्टिव से वो वाला पॉइंट स्किप हो गया आपको उधर. तो वो अगर वहां बैलेंस दिख जाता तो आपका वो विजडम समझ आता कि नहीं, यू नो द स्टफ वेरी इन डेप्थ. तो वो एक चीज है जहां पर आपने थोड़ा नेगेटिव आउटलुक लिया उसका. फिर हमने हिस्ट्री के कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछे, जैसे बेटी बचाओ पे मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा. आज हम बेटी बचाओ का हमने देखा कि वी यूज नज इकोनॉमिक्स की. बेटी बचाओ से इट इज बेटर टू यूज कि बेटी आपकी धन लक्ष्मी, बेटी आपकी विजय लक्ष्मी. सो यूजिंग नज, ताकि लोग इसको एज अ रिसोर्स देखे. फिर हमने NK गांधी पे बात की, लॉर्ड रिपन पे बात की. लॉर्ड रिपन आपने मेंशन किया तो वहां पर हम चले गए कहीं पर दैट्स अ फैक्ट. फैक्ट होता है, जरूरी नहीं कि आपको पता हो सब. देन बिगेस्ट अचीवमेंट ऑफ गांधी, वेरी गुड मास मूवमेंट एक्सेट्रा, वेदर गांधी जी वुड बी सिलेक्टेड. वो भी आपने बोला कि हाँ, ही हैड अ गुड पर्सनालिटी. पर वहां पर जो आपने कहा कि आई कुड हैव परस्यूड इट अ लिटिल फर्दर, पर मुझे काफी और एरियाज कवर करने थे, कि गांधी जी का आइडियलिस्ट अप्रोच टू थिंग्स वुड नॉट बी यू नो would not could not be settled in a way कि ब्यूरोक्रेसी को कैसे काम करना है. ब्यूरोक्रेसी स्टेटस को आगे बढ़ाता है, और गांधी जी वाज नॉट इन फेवर ऑफ दैट. तो वो चीज सेटल करना बिल्कुल थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. तो यहाँ पर ऐसे ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पर विच आर लिटिल हाइपोथेटिकल, उस पे यू हैव टू प्राइमरली कोट फैक्ट्स, कि गांधी जी का जैसे राइटिंग कैसा था. तो ही वाज अ गुड राइटर, तो मेंस में उनका अच्छा खासा स्कोर आया होगा, तो इंटरव्यू में ही वुड मैनेज द इंटरव्यू समहाउ एंड ही माइट गेट सिलेक्टेड. सो
राइट राइट.
तो वहां पर ऐसे हाइपोथेटिकल क्वेश्चंस पे जस्ट कोट सम फैक्ट्स, डोंट गो इनटू ओपिनियंस. देन 3 करंट पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स, तो वो आपने बता दिया, ममता बनर्जी एंड नरेंद्र मोदी. वो ठीक था. यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड पे आई आस्क्ड यू अबाउट द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड ऑन इंडियन सोसाइटी. You told me administrative convenience, national integrity, unity, gender justice, elimination of discrimination and religion. 5 points दिए आपने, और पांचों के पांचों point are the positives of UCC. You did not give me any challenges. तो वहां पर भी a balance is missing a little. तो पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव दोनों आ जाना चाहिए उधर. देन NSS पे बात की, NGO पे बात की, मेडिटेशन पे, जम्मू पे, आर्टिकल 370, यू नो दैट. वाई सिविल सर्विसेज, वेरी यूनिक आंसर. In fact, this is the answer to this question. ये डाइवर्सिटी और फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी ऑलमोस्ट इतना क्लिशे आंसर हो चुका है. हर एक बच्चे का सेम आंसर है. तो इट्स वेरी गुड कि यू हैव क्रिएटेड एन आंसर विच इज यूनिक टू योर सेल्फ ओनली. तो ऐसा आंसर किसी और का नहीं, एंड इट्स अ गुड आंसर. रिसीविंग एंड एंड गिविंग एंड का जो आपने वो क्लासिफिकेशन किया, वेरी नाइस. फिर पंक्चुअलिटी, डेडिकेशन, सेंसिटिविटी आपको आप लाएंगे, एंड वीकनेसेस. आपका कोई इशू नहीं है पर्सनालिटी में. यूर अ वंडरफुल कैंडिडेट. आई डोंट नो व्हाई यू डिडंट गेट सिलेक्टेड लास्ट टाइम. क्या दिक्कत, कहाँ दिक्कत हो गया था?
सर मेंस में जीएस में मेरे काफ़ी कम मार्क्स थे इनफैक्ट those areas which I believe are my commanding areas वहाँ पे कम थे so I don't know what goes on to mind of examiner while checking but anyways that is not something which is in my control so but I believe उसी में GS में I had history uh, I got 277 in history so satisfactory considering history में इतना ही marks मिलता है not comparing it with anthropology obviously but ठीक है मतलब I was satisfied but GS में अगर थोड़े ज़्यादा मिलते तो I would have made it but पता नहीं इस बार कैसा होगा तो let's see
कितने कितने मार्क्स से लगे थे आप?
सर मेरे तो काफ़ी 50 I had 1024 so
ओह, ओके।
नहीं हुआ इस वजह से
But I don't think you have. There's a chance that you might get selected this time. I believe you're a very confident woman और आपका जो अच्छा है you have a solution oriented approach. चीजों को break down करते हो और smaller bits में उसको approach करके उसका हल निकालते हो. That is your personality approach to things. So I would definitely go for you if I was there. You are a potential officer. आज नहीं तो कल तो बनना ही है. There is no chance कि आप नहीं बनेंगे. If you don't get selected, it's not a loss for you. It's a loss to the administration. And we hope to see your name in the finalist.
I have two questions actually Sir,
Okay.
my interview is on 14th of August. So, being person from history background and also 14th of August and partition and all that. So, what kind of tricky questions? Considering if I am into a lucky board where they are asking opinion-based questions and not factual. So,
That's
what can be
yeah.
asked?
I'll send you a list of the question. I'll give this to my team. They'll prepare a questionnaire for it, and then you go through the questions. देखते हैं कि कितना हम उसमें dimension create कर पाएंगे.
Okay, sir. Secondly, my interview, I'm the last one to be interviewed on 14th. So, what's the likelihood of that they being exhausted by then and not taking me seriously?
It is highly likely that they'll be exhausted. So you have to find a way. Being the last person, you have to find a way to make them a little smile. वो चीज याद रहता है बिकॉज आई रिमेम्बर कि हमारा भी मॉक चल रहा था एंड वी हैड क्लोज टू 20-25 स्टूडेंट्स एक ही दिन में करने थे और वाज सो एग्जॉस्टिव आखिरी जो बच्चा था चेयरमैन सर उठकर उन्होंने बोला भाई बंद करो इसको तो हमारा लगभग आधे आधे घंटे का सेशन था और 15 मिनट में ही वाज लाइक सो फेड अप तो बट ही द गाय मेड इट सो इंटरेस्टिंग उन्होंने थोड़ा ही मेड अस स्माइल एंड कुछ क्वेश्चंस पर सम वेरी ट्रिकी आंसर्स और ही गॉट बैक टू द सीट टू टॉक टू हिम अगेन तो वो चीज है लास्ट पे मेक देम इंटरेस्टिंग मेक देम लिटिल स्माइल अपने आंसर्स से ताकि वो बस याद रहे उनको कि नहीं ये लड़की आई थी एंड शी हैड सम वेरी गुड आंसर्स नॉट ओनली एकेडमिकली और फैक्चुअली बट अ लिटिल इंटरेस्टिंग वाला पार्ट कि थोड़े ट्रिकी आंसर्स ऐसा कुछ तो वो चीज याद रहती है तो फाइंड आउट सम वेज कि आप अपने आंसर से उनको थोड़ा कैसे अपना आप उनको याद रखवाओगे आप और वो आमतौर पर किसी अच्छी बात से ही होता है जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल उन्होंने मुझे याद है द गाय सेड कि आई प्ले गली क्रिकेट तो मैम ने उनको पूछा था कि गली क्रिकेट और नॉर्मल क्रिकेट में क्या फर्क है गली क्रिकेट में फर्क ये है कि जो बैट लेकर आता है वो पहली बैटिंग करता है तो दैट वाज समथिंग नो याद रहा हमें कि नहीं बाकी काफी सारे बच्चों ने काफी सारी बातें की पर याद नहीं रहा बट उसकी बातें याद रही तो वो चीज है कि याद रखवाना है अपनी पर्सनालिटी याद रखवानी है वो फिर इट विल डू द जॉब
So, sir, if you had to give me marks, how would you rate me?
यू आर प्लस 170 है आपका इस बार भी रेंज है माइट इवन टच 180 आई हैव वेरी हाई कॉन्फिडेंस कि आपका बहुत अच्छा स्कोर आएगा इंटरव्यू में
Okay, and 4-5 days are left. What should I do? Like only read newspapers? And
यू यस गो फॉर द न्यूज़पेपर्स जम्मू का थोड़ा देख लो क्या है अभी चल रहा है टाइका फॉरेस्ट वगैरह हाई कोर्ट का बिल्डिंग का कुछ इशू था एनवायरमेंटल कंसर्न था और जम्मू के अलावा आप मेजर इश्यूज देख सकते हो आर्टिकल 370 के रिलेटेड यूसीसी के रिलेटेड बाकी फैक्ट्स का तो इतने अजीब फैक्ट्स है आई डोंट थिंक कि उसमें कोई भी कुछ कर सकता है but mostly your interview has to be your answers have to be tailored in such a way कि आप उनको उस डायरेक्शन में ले जाओ आप अपने इंट्रोडक्शन में ऐसा बेट छोड़ सकते हो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर कंफर्टेबल इन टीचिंग या वहां पर आप थोड़ा उसको इलेबोरेट कर सकते हो या फिर एनजीओ वाले काम में आप थोड़ा वहां पर काम करते हो उसको थोड़ा इलेबोरेट कर दो इंट्रोडक्शन में थोड़ा उसको स्ट्रेस डाल दो उस चीज पर, एक दो बार कोई रिपीट करो कोई वर्ड, तो
Right.
जिसकी वजह से दिल कैच इट एंड दैट माइट लीड द इंटरव्यू इन दैट डायरेक्शन.
Like throwing bait so that they can pick up and lead the interview in that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Annie. Wish you all the best. I'm waiting to see your name in the finalist.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All the best. God bless you. Bye.